on stream?
I don't know. I'll think about it.
Sleepy as heck, but hello. Oh boy. I sure do love puzzle. Water. Nine. Oh yabby. Yahoo! Yippee! Yowza! W! Water. Systems work, systems go crazy, systems work, systems go crazy, systems work.
Hi. It's 11:24 p.m. I said I was gonna stream late at night today. I reckon that's late enough. I wanted to play a puzzle game. We're gonna play a puzzle game. I think this game is going to be loud when I boot it up, so I'm gonna have to manually quiet it down. So here's your warning in advance. Maybe turn your volume down. Maybe, be mindful of that, I suppose. I'm booting it up now. You've had ample warning. Any second now. It's telling me to pick graphics options. You can choose between low, mid, and normal. I'm feeling pretty normal today, so we're gonna go with that. So this is NABOKI. It's a game about disassembly. You're meant to disassemble each and every segment of the level. How does the game sound compared to my voice, by the way? Is the game too loud? Is the volume alright? Let me know. I can adjust stuff. Game's a little loud? Alright, we're gonna tab out. We're gonna turn that down. Just a sec. Volume mixer. How about this? Is this better?
I love you, Holly. Can you please tell my best friend Ricky happy birthday? XOXO.
Happy birthday to Ricky. And thanks for the tip. So it's a game about, you rotate your little box, you find what little bits you can chip off. You chip them off accordingly. And then you keep it going. I'm into it. This is, of course, by the same dev as the other puzzle games, what I've been doing for my late night puzzle streams. It is very reminiscent of this game, so I suppose that's, fairly obvious just by looking at it. They're good times. I certainly like them. This one has the trick of different faces have different directions. Now we have a lot of them. But don't be fooled and don't be scared. Never get scared in your life or it's over. Remember that. They teach you that in the basic training. It's all about just rotating to see what you can take out, what you can't, and then what new bits open up after that. I think I might turn the volume up a little bit more, actually. Because now it sounds just a little too quiet. Let's try like this, and hopefully that'll be okay. Hope y'all had a good day today? My day was alright. Cold and gray here. But, you know, I like the cold. I don't so much like the gray, but I like the cold. Weather's a little wet, so I've been having a couple issues flaring up with some chronic respiratory issues. It is what it is, but been getting by. I made spaghetti for dinner. That was nice. Which of these can I knock out now? There we go. There we go. Out you go. And you're out. This one looks like a little grumpy face. You kind of like the cold and gray? Well, that's fair. I don't really like the gray bits, but I do like the cold. I like it when it's like cold and the sun is out. Ah, rotate. We have discovered rotation. It's our new ability. Hey, we just had a hype train, didn't we? Thank y'all for all the subs and resubs. I appreciate it. I had a moment, the other day when I was looking at my Twitch, like, analytics, I suppose is the word for it, and I noticed, one day that, like, I had suddenly gone down by, like, a ton of subs, and I was like, oh my god, what happened? Do a ton of people just, like, suddenly not watching my stuff? Did something go wrong? What did I do? And then I realized, no, it was all of the gift subs that people gave during my birthday stream were finally lapsing. I had a moment where I realized, oh yeah, that was because people were extra generous on my birthday. That's normal, actually, that they're going away. I feel like it's easy to lose the forest from the trees and all that when you kind of just try and focus on the numbers like that. So I try not to, but, you know, it's... sometimes it's fun to look at numbers. Ah, sliding blocks. The lever makes them go in a different place. Here's more. Down. This up. This goes that way. Nope, not both at the same time. One at a time. There we go. All the letters are revealing themselves. Yeah, this one go. Hey, I've been online. Thank you so much for that sub.
Q.
Hope you've been doing well, my friend. This is extremely a game of cubes. If you're a fan of shapes, of the boxy variety, this game perhaps is up your alley. Or perhaps not, who's to say? I suppose you're to say. But I'm not you. Whee. I like the whoosh sound they make when you make them go away. Yeah, I'm also excited to see how the later levels in this game end up. If the other games that are similar to this I've played are any indication, we're gonna go in some wild directions. There we go, this one comes out. But that one can't be. Ah, but there's another side. Because of course there is. Game's got good sound effects, yeah. A lot of these minimalist sort of puzzle-ish games. Puzzle-ish? No, this is just a puzzle game, straight up. A lot of these games have real nice little sound effects. Satisfying clicks and clacks. It's, feels very tactile as much as you can get with a purely virtual sorts of thing, but I can imagine the sort of feeling this would have in my hands if this was like a physical toy I could pick up and move about. There we go. I'm a sucker, personally, for stuff that's like, you gotta, like, take the pieces out in, like, a specific order to take it apart. I like stuff like that. It's fun. Let's see. Move these out of the way, then I can do this and this. This was the stuff there. I have to clear this bit out, which we can't do yet.
Cube Mystery.
Thank you, Retro Haberdashery, for the 4-month resub. Appreciate it. I don't know if I'm going to be streaming all this tonight. I might get to a certain point and decide this is fun, but I'm too tired, I go to bed. I did that last time, and then I just ended up finishing the game the next morning. On my own time, and that was nice. But I thought it'd be nice to have a bit of puzzle time. That goes up. Let's go out. Not quite yet. This can. Something like this might be fun as like a VR game. But I don't have a VR headset, so I couldn't rightly say, but I could see it being fun as like a actual physical thing that you could like move around and look around, that sort of thing. Have I ever played Gnog? I have not. Doesn't ring a bell. Every time I say ring a bell, it makes me think of that one character from... what is it? Bravely Default? Where his whole shtick is like, oh, I have amnesia. I don't remember who I am. And then there's like, they make a joke that's like, oh, that name, no, it doesn't ring a bell. And then he's like, huh, ring a bell, or something like that. I've never actually played Bravely Default. And I don't know if I ever will. Quite frankly, if I wanted to play another hours-long, job-based JRPG, I would probably just play Final Fantasy V again, because I've never actually beaten Final Fantasy V. For as much as I've, you know, watched other people play it and go through the whole game, and how much I've, like, seen other folks experience the story firsthand and stuff like that, I've never actually beaten it myself. I still consider it to be basically my favorite Final Fantasy, though, aside from FF14, basically. It's a good game. How do you imagine life was like for the first puzzle makers? I imagine it was like sticking a bunch of rocks into a big pile. That sounds like puzzles to me.
Play Final Fantasy V, it has pirate women in it.
It does! It does, it rules. I fucking love Ferris. No, wait, is Ferris the pirate woman? Lena is the princess, Ferris is the pirate. Kryl is the youngin' who gets Grandpa's powers. Galuf is the grandpa, and Butts is from the town of Lix. And I won't suffer anyone saying that his name is actually Bartz. No, 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 not in my house. In this town, we love and appreciate Butts from the town of Lix. That is his God-given Christian name. And he is gay. He has a rainbow on his passport, like all gay people do. Read it and weep. There we go. There she go. Not this one yet, though. So, let's try and figure this one out. Slides out so I can put this up. Move this up, and this can go down. This can go down, and this goes out. You go, you go. Here's your last one. Thank you, Graphobia, for the 4 months.
Hi Holly, I just ate green slime in a bag and I ate yellow pineapple sugar out of a tiny bucket with a picture of SpongeBob on top. Stay cool, here's Sule. Oh yeah.
You ate green slime in a bag and yellow pineapple sugar out of a tiny bucket with a picture of SpongeBob on top. That sounds absolutely ghoulish. Are you okay? I worry. I do worry, I do. Thank you for the resub, though. I appreciate it. There we go.
Cube mystery.
Thank you, Missing Texture, for the 7 months. Appreciate it. Slide you a different way? I cannot. Not yet, at least. You, though. You can pop right out. As this goes up. And it just goes up and down like that. Okay. Now I can do this. Isn't terribly much help at the moment. This has to go this way. Although if I do this, then there we go. There we go. Now we're talking. So that goes out that way. Now we just have the one. The slime tasted like plastic. That's bad. I reckon you shouldn't be eating plastic. No matter what SpongeBob tells you. No one ever tells you this in college or anything, but SpongeBob's name in French is Bob the Sponge. I just thought that was interesting. I like the little sound effects that it makes when you clear a block and it just like streaks on by like. It's good sounds. Good sounds. Screaming on down the highway with my block puzzle. Ain't no one can stop me now. One left. But there's some blocks in the way of it. No way to clear them out. Ah, that's why. Hidden lever. What is Sox's Twitch handle? I posted it in the Discord, and it's also on my Twitter. It's just SoxBX. This one's got big chunky shapes in it, which I appreciate. I am a fan of a big chunky shape. You do love to see it. But now this one's in the way. How the hell you get over here? Move it. Bro, you're fully in my way here. There we go. What's this do? Ah. I see. You can change the rotational angle of which way it goes. Okay, very interesting. Out you go. Away with you. This is the end for you. You're gone. Let's do these. Click, click. 1, 2, 3. This game is very neat. Where'd you go? Hi, Tiger Man. Why are you saying my name with a question mark? What's wrong? If you have a question, you can just say it instead of prefacing that with Holly question mark. That's how text chats work. You can just lead off with what you want to ask instead of waiting for a response. That's a-okay. Been a while? Well, thanks for stopping on by. Always nice to see familiar faces around. That one doesn't go that way. That one can't go that way yet. There we go. Not that one, not that one. This one. Whoosh. So Nintendo put out their Switch Online Deluxe Edition or whatever with the N64 games on it, and it looks like their emulation is kind of dog shit. Oh, I see. These gotta go long ways, which is I'd like to say I'm surprised, but it's an unfortunate trend that stuff like this tends to kind of fall under the wayside like that. Man, really does just go to show you that stuff like non-corporate backed emulation is actually extremely cool and good, it turns out. I will say, at the very least, having an emulator that just kind of like causes all of your games to be horrible, warbling messes is like really, really funny. I don't want to spend money on it, but I wish that someone out there could configure like a pre-existing emulator to act exactly like that, because it's hilarious. It rules. And I don't think Nintendo should be rewarded for that, but you know, it is very, very funny to me. It is also funny, though, seeing some people take, like, random Twitter videos completely out of context and be like, oh my god, have you seen this? This is a fucking mess. I can't believe Nintendo is getting away with this. And then you look at, like, the comments on the original tweet, and it's just like, I don't know why people are saying what they are about this. This is just me trying to execute, like, a speedrun glitch that only really works on original hardware and kind of also breaks in similar ports. Gave me a bit of a chuckle. I think that one was for Ocarina of Time. Comparisons are between the official N64 app and other emulators rather than to the original N64. Still bad, but some of it's just like you don't need to cheese it to prove the case. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit odd. People trying to prove a point, I guess, in a very roundabout way. And like, I feel like no matter what sort of emulations, like, what sort of emulation solution Nintendo would put out, like, there's... I don't feel like this is all that hot of a take, but I feel like there's very little chance that it's going to, like, ever really be able to match up necessarily with, like, what decades of, like, combined community programming effort has been able to get for, like, the current massive, like, emulators that we have. Like, the reason why so many emulators are as good as they are is because we have, years and years of people, like, working together to get, like, a piece of software running as, like, accurately as they can because, like, they're passionate about it. And, like, that's not something you can necessarily easily, like, neglect or replace just on the virtue of, well, we have official documentation from however many years and years ago. That doesn't change the fact that, like, the N64's internal architecture is as fucking whack as it is, you know? We gotta connect the lines here? I know a line collecting puzzle when I see one. And I know they're never gonna do it, but, man, it sure would be cool if someday Nintendo took the route of going to, like, official... I probably have to connect all of these here. Like, official, I guess, quote-unquote, official developers of, emulators and just kind of went like, hey, here's $1 million fucking dollars or whatever. Would you like to port your emulator to our console? Oh, I have to connect these. Pokemon Snap works best in Dolphin as a virtual console game? God, that's wild. I didn't actually know that. Maybe I connect these like that? There we go. It is interesting, though, like, you know, as many, like, leaps and bounds as we've made with, like, N64 emulation, like, at the end of the day, it is still, like, a really difficult thing Just because of, like, how weird the N64 is on, like, a technical level compared to, like, even other consoles of the time. N64 emulation took ages to get even remotely close. Yeah, right. Like, people, I feel like, can very easily take for granted, you know, oh, well, the Switch emulators aren't as good as, like, Project 64, and it's like, well, yeah, because, again, it took fucking decades of people, like, disassembling and poring over, like, the Nintendo 64's basic architecture to, like, try and understand, okay, how the fuck does this work? It's really weird. Okay, how the fuck do we get that to work with, like, modern computer architecture, which is fairly different from that? How do we get, like, a square, to pretend it's a circle, basically? Which is probably a shitty analogy completely, but I feel like it at least kind of gets the point across, like... Ah, this one's got different shapes on it. I see, I see. Are 3DS emulators still in their infancy? I don't know. I've got no idea. Let's go with this. Really keep up too much with like emulation developments necessarily. I do think it's neat though. It's very important for like game preservation and things like that. It's also just nice to be able to have like some way to play a lot of games that are difficult to access and play nowadays. Like archival and preservation is like a super important thing for video games, I feel. And so like on that basis alone, I think it's like hugely important that we have the kind of following that emulation development does. This isn't even really a conversation about the Nintendo Online service anymore. This is just me going, hey, emulation's cool, isn't it? And I'm really hoping that someday someone can set up an emulator that mimics the mimics the network issues of Switch Online's netplay, because I want to play Welcome to Mario Kart. And again, I don't want to drop the money on that to be able to experience that, just because I don't want to pay Nintendo for a product that I wouldn't really be satisfied with. Irony dollars are still real dollars and all that, but you know, it's fun to think about that. How did I do that with my mouth? The same way Tom Kenny does the SpongeBob laugh. You take your finger, you put it up against your like your neck, and you just very rapidly move it up and down. Ah! I thought everyone knew that. Sometimes you take for granted your own knowledge and you assume it's common knowledge when it really isn't. Like right now, I suppose. This one makes a fun circle. I like to see a fun circle. I'm a big fan of a fun circle. We really ought to see more fun circles in video games, and that's just my honest opinion. My honest God-fearing opinion. I don't know why I said God-fearing. I thought it would be funny. What are we missing? What are we missing? You would like to see a dangerous and rude circle? Devolver Digital put out a game a little while ago called Disc Room. You should check that out. It's a game full of rude circles. And nothing but, so help me God. I've been thinking about picking that game up someday. Probably not anytime soon, just because I got other games I want to play in the meantime, but... you know. On the watch list and all that. Watch list has a negative connotation in this context, doesn't it? Watch list sounds like a fucking, like... the neighborhood watch looking out for a criminal or something. I just meant, like, it is on a list for games that I am watching and thinking about playing. Emulation development sounds frustrating, but also fucking rad. Yeah, it's an interesting and complex problem to try and solve, the whole, like, well... how do we make, like, a different piece of hardware, like, accurately, think that it's a completely different piece of hardware? And that's wild. The fact that people are able to do it at all still, like, blows my mind. It's cool. I'm feeling fully like Dante from one of the Devil May Cry games where you can make him go, "It's cool!" somehow. I don't know what stimuli necessarily cause that reaction. I'm talking about Dante Devil May Cry like I'm a fucking scientist observing him in a lab. He's my little science experiment. I'm putting Dante from Devil May Cry in a little petri dish, and I'm introducing different stimuli into his environment to see if he has a positive or negative reaction, and then to reinforce positive reactions, I'm giving him a little snack of some sugar. Emulation that allows you to play Four Swords Adventure Online by connecting Dolphin to a GBA emulator. Yeah, I read about that a while ago. They also got that working with, like, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, which is really cool. Like, personally, like, at the end of the day, if I can help it, prefer to just play stuff on, like, original hardware. Just because, like not for any reason that's, like, anti-emulation or whatever, that's just, like, a personal thing that I like to do if I can help it. Because, like, at the end of the day, you can try as hard as you want to, like, accurately emulate something, but you could also, if it's available to you, just, you know, use the original thing. But, like, not every single, like, official piece of hardware is necessarily going to work. Like, we've got stuff like, the Pokemon Gen 2 and Gen 3 carts, and, like, their internal batteries by this point in time, are, if not already dead, very much out the door. Which means, you know, you can't save your game or, like, interact with many of the mechanics in them because that part of the hardware is just fucking dead. But, you know, you can replace with a battery by, like, opening the cart up and, like, soldering in a new battery yourself. But, like, you know, again, that's not something that's necessarily accessible to everyone. And so emulation is good on that front. Like stuff like this maybe not the best example other than, like, curiosity or historical reasons because it's a dogshit console, but the Philips CDI, I saw multiple people describe the hardware as being a ticking time bomb because it was just, like, put together and manufactured with such poor quality components that, like, they are quite literally all going to just be fried someday and never work again. The hardware is volatile. That's a plus in emulation's favor. Number two, like, things like original consoles are like hard to get working sometimes with like modern day video peripherals. Like, you can get splitters and like converters for stuff for like analog video to HDMI or something like that, but like you gotta blow more money on that just for the sake of being able to play one old console sort of thing. And that's, you know, not necessarily great and not necessarily something everyone wants to or can do. Emulation fixes that in a way. Number three, you know, emulators let you do stuff where like you can upscale things, you can play things in widescreen, you can have like custom controller layouts for games that didn't originally let you do that. There's like much more fine granular control over like certain settings and stuff that just would not exist in like original hardware, or were like obfuscated by the developers for whatever reason. So like, from that perspective, that's also cool. Number four, I can take my copy of Kirby Air Ride, dump the ROM, upload it to Dolphin, my local instance of Dolphin, and then I can connect to the internet and play with my friends across the country, instead of having to fucking wait for them all to come to my house during a global pandemic. And that's awesome. And that fucking rules. And that's part of why I was excited for the idea of the N64 on the Switch stuff. Like, oh, that'd be neat to have like a convenient way to be able to like play games online like that with my friends. That'd be awesome. And then it was just unfortunately kind of a letdown in that regard. Think emulation should be embraced by game companies as a new way to access the game instead of ostracized for piracy reasons they brought upon themselves? Yeah, I think emulation like is not only like great for the sake of like video game preservation, but like I think it's great incentive for developers to like be able to re-release like old games to like a completely new generation, a new audience. Like Sega seems pretty good about that on Steam. You can just straight up buy, like, oh, there we go, that's gone. I was wondering how I'd get rid of that. You can just straight up buy, like, ROMs for old Genesis games, and, like, they're just like, okay, it comes with a built-in emulator, but you can also use, like, whatever emulator you want for them. You've got the ROM now? We have one emulator, you can look into more if you like. Like, they're pretty damn good about that, from the looks of things. And that's great. They made an 80s/90s VR room you can sit in while playing their ROMs. Did they? That's cool. That's cool. And again, my pipe dream that I know will never come true, because of course it won't, is that maybe someday Nintendo will just go, hey, maybe we should just pay, like, established developers of emulators to port their emulators to our systems. It's never gonna happen, but a gal can dream. Let's see if no, that doesn't go that way. But, you know, games is a business, and if they're not making themselves the biggest slice of the pie they can, then they just don't want to do it at all. You kind of hate to see it. Maybe I should try and get rid of this bit, but... This isn't the way if I try to do that. Now this is just, like, restoring to how it was when we started the puzzle. It's not necessarily helpful. Imagine walking to the store with a little nephew and they get an SD card with an Atari 800 emulator. Oh god, no. I changed my mind. I think emulation is dog shit now. If all of the good that it brings means the risk of a new generation having to experience bros, I think we should just burn it all. I think we should just get rid of all of it. Just throw it all away. It's that simple. I'm fully kidding, of course, but... I'm having fun just clicking on the buttons and hearing the sounds, regardless of whether it's leading to any sort of desired outcome. I bet that's how mice feel. Just in general. I imagine we probably want to get these bits with the lines on them to be connected somehow. God, it was so funny, you know, seeing and knowing that Bros for the Atari 800 was like a meme. Back in the day, like, there were a ton of videos that were just like, oh, send this video to 10 of your bros or you're not a true bro, and it was just footage of bros for the Atari 800. And then just, like, going back and looking at those old videos and, like, looking at, like, the comments on them and seeing recent ones from people just being like, who here is a Holotones viewer? Who here watch a Holly stream? And I'm just like, oh god, they don't even know. Although maybe now they do. That's always wild to see. Let's see, slide this in. No, that's still not enough. That's still not working either. Well, if that goes out, then there's no room for it at all. See, that can't quite slide out. It kind of reminds me of how, like, every couple of years, for whatever reason, the Dover Boys makes a resurgence as a meme again. I've seen it happen, like, twice, or maybe 3 times. I certainly expect it to happen again. It's funny how it keeps happening, but I mean, like, it's also fun to see things that a previous generation enjoyed as a bit coming back again and acquiring sort of newfound enjoyment for largely the same reasons. I think it's neat. No, let's just make it go back to the way it was previously. Just got here and you're excited to learn the mechanics of the puzzle game? Well, here's what we got so far, is, you know, you've got this big, shape, and you've got to disassemble it. And so, you've got these little, like, slidey bits here, you click on the arrow, it slides out. When there's no other blocks, like, in the way of it, then it gets completely cleared. You've got these little levers you can flick, they will move a piece in the direction of the lever you flick. You've got these, like, lines, you can click them to rotate them, and you have to fully connect all of the lines to clear out blocks with lines on them. Also, sometimes there are black shapes, and those are just in the way. You can't clear them. You have to work around them. That's about what we got so far. block bit of it. I fully admit that these streams are largely just a lot of me hemming and hawing and stuff like that, and occasionally chiming in with like an interesting bit of conversation, but I don't know, I kind of like that about them. It's a nice, relaxing way to spend in a little hour or two. Low energy, low stakes. Nothing to worry about, just some puzzles, some nice sound. Sometimes Wario's there. You know how it is. I like doing streams like this. Oh, right, that makes that slide back there. What can I do? Rotate this, but it doesn't particularly help us right now. I can't get this because this bit's in the way completely, so I would have to clear it out to connect these bits with lines on them, which is the end goal, which means we need to clear out these other sliding blocks first. In order to do that, let's see. I have to bring this one down. To do that, I would need to clear out this block. Clear out this block. We would need 2 blocks worth of space, which means I'm going to have to get rid of this one. As well as... Oh, actually, just this one. Because otherwise we would be trying to get through this pink bit. To get rid of this, we need this to be out of the way. Also, it's like this. I wonder if it's one of those cases if I'm just having trouble seeing it because I'm sleepy, or if it's something else. I can't rightly get this because we have the pink bit in the way. I think the game's website just has a link to the game on Steam, and then the Steam page has the bundle in it, so like you can always just do that. You can also just Google NABOKI, and one of the first results is the game on Steam. And again, it's just on the Steam page if you're looking for the bundle of all these games, which you should definitely pick up because all of these games are a lot of fun. Click on all of the levers to get everything back in the center place again. Alright, that's still in the way. Fuck. I might be stumped. I know what I have to do for, like, step 7 of the puzzle. But I'm not sure what steps 1 through 3 are. It's 1,000,000 at night? I don't know if that's true. I think it's 12:19. Still in the way. So if we want to clear this out, this block needs to be gone. If we want to clear this block out, this block needs to be moved in some way. If we want to move this block in some way, this one needs to be moved out. In order to do that, this one needs to be moved. Like... or something else would have to be moved. Like, I just still don't know where the connecting bit for this is. I like the ambient sounds in this. There's just like bird sounds in the background. It's nice. I like to listen to birds. One thing that does make me a bit sad about the colder seasons is I don't get to hear birds as much. Quite like the rest of winter. The ice, the snow. Cold. I like shoveling. Every time I say that, I feel like people give me weird looks, but I do, it's fun. Might I be able to move this one? I can move this one only if this block is completely gone. I can move this one, no problem. Doesn't really do me too much good right now, it feels like. Move this one in, but not really out. That's certainly not going to go out. I think getting sleepy when it's cold is just a normal human thing. I think a lot of people do that. It's like I wake up here, whenever I wake up when it's like cold in the mornings, and it's just kind of like, you know what, I kind of want to just keep sleeping for a while. Is it not human to want to conserve warmth? Is it not human to want to take a big fucking nap under the comfy pillows? Under the pillows? Under the sheets. Blankets. Now I'm just thinking about sleeping. That's not exactly conductive to solving a puzzle now, is it? Conductive? Conducive? One of those words. We're not here for grammar lessons. I might be stuck on this puzzle for a good little while, but at least it's fun to rotate the shape and hear the sounds. Imagine that's probably not the most exciting or invigorating viewing necessarily, but I imagine people aren't here for that right now. It's certainly not what I'm here to deliver.
I want to take grandma lessons.
I don't know what a grandma lesson is, but, I mean, good luck seeking that out, I suppose. Thanks for the tip, I appreciate it. I think the most important grandma lesson you can learn is that you're a grandma if your child has kids. And also, you're either a woman or you feel close enough to womanhood that you feel comfortable calling yourself a grandma. That's... I mean, I guess that's really the most important lesson. The second most important lesson is you have to get one of those little tins of butter cookies and use it to hold, like, either sewing materials or writing materials or completely different candies. I gave my grandma a stuffed animal toy that I had when I was younger. It's a cat, because she really likes cats. And I gave it to her the other day, and she was very happy about it, and she gave it a big hug and took a nap with it, and that made me smile. That made me happy. I hope that cat keeps her company. Time figuring out how to get these out. I feel like there's going to be something very plainly obvious that I eventually figure out, and then I just kind of kick myself in the ass for not seeing it sooner. That's how these tend to go. Hey, thank you for the tip.
I haven't brought a lunch by in a while, hope you haven't been starving. Though this one's more a midnight fridge raid, I guess.
Don't worry about it. I've been doing okay on food and money. But I appreciate the tip all the same, thank you. Don't kick yourself, it's late and I'm smart. I mean, I'm not trying to put myself down being like, oh man, I'm so dumb, I can't solve this puzzle, what's wrong with me? I genuinely mean, like, a lot of the times, and this isn't an indictment of my intellect or anything like that. It's just, like, a lot of times you get, like, tunnel visioned on a puzzle and you think, like, oh, well, I gotta look for this one thing and I just need to, like, find it, but I just can't, and you keep, you know, bashing your head against the same one thing, and then you go, you know what, maybe I'll just come back to this later, and you, like, take a break or go to bed, and then you wake up and it's the next day and you look at it, and within the next 5 seconds you just go, like, oh, why didn't I just try this? And then you try it. And then it works. I did that with another puzzle game like this I streamed, where I got to a certain point and I was like, okay, I'm too tired, I'm gonna stop playing this now. And then I did, and then the next day I woke up, I brewed myself a little coffee, I sat down, I booted the game up, and within like seconds I had moved on to the next puzzle.
Water.
Thank you, sand. For the sand. I can click on this to rotate the arrow for this one, but I can't click on the arrow yet, just because it's in the way here. Should have a drink. reckon I'll probably give the stream another 30, 40 minutes, something like that, and then I should probably just call it and go to bed for the sake of not going to bed super late, but I realize this is different from most of the streams that I do, but, you know, I hope y'all that are tuning in are enjoying it all the same. It's nice to do streams like this. This, and then I can do this. No, not quite. This. Something. Trying to figure out how these would look once they're actually all up and connected. Let's see. This would be like this, I suppose. Connect them like that. That would be here. I still don't know what's on this bit here. You know that thing that, like, cartoon characters do sometimes when they're trying to focus on something and they, like, stick their tongue out a little bit for whatever reason? I realized the other day that I do that sometimes, and I just kind of noticed that I was doing it, and I had this moment of, like, oh god, I'm like a living parody of myself, aren't I? Sometimes my cat does that, but it's mostly because she was licking herself and then she got distracted by something. Which I can respect. Okay, well it can't be that, so which means this has to go here, which means... What does it mean? Something. It has to be this. Could be this. But no, it would have to be here somewhere. Could be this. Would work. I don't know what's here. Why do we get rid of some of these? That's to get rid of the white blocks. I'm assuming, at least. That's what it feels like we have to do. So we can't move the pink ones without getting rid of the white ones. Right? We can do that. I can't slide that in more. Slide this in. Then this can't go. Can we somehow clear out a space or something? No. I didn't think so. I thought it might be worth clicking to check. Hey, Plutes Boots. I don't think I'm really anywhere near the end of this game, but probably will end up calling the stream soonish just for the sake of going to bed. I ended up starting the stream a little later than I wanted to just because I got distracted doing other things, but that's okay. You know, life happens sometimes. saw someone in chat mention doing a physics problem that's got James Bond in it, and it makes me remember my my physics professor in college, who would always joke about. He would make like a scenario of like a physics problem, or like an example of like a concept we had just covered, and he would talk about Superman, and he would always make it very clear to us, Superman is different from Superman. He's legally distinct from Superman. And then he would say something sometimes along the lines of like, "Oh, I don't have the rights to use Superman, so I can't use Superman. I can't go to jail again." I think about that sometimes. He was a fun teacher. Sometimes I worry that maybe he hated me because he was also a professor for like an astrophysics elective course, which I took, and I took that at like a real bad time in my life. I was like massively depressed. I was having trouble focusing on like basically anything in any of my classes. I was flunking a lot of things. And so, like, sometimes I worry that, like, oh, maybe he, like, ended up hating me just because, like, I wasn't a very good student, but sometimes I like to think that, like, honestly, he probably doesn't even remember me, because he has had a lot of students, continues to have a lot of students, and I never really did anything that would necessarily make him resent me, other than, just having trouble in a class, and, I liked him. So I reckon that counts for something. Sometimes it's very easy for you to get caught up in your own anxieties like that, or at least it's easy for me to do that. I suppose I can't necessarily speak with confidence about anyone else. I'm just me. Being me's all I've ever known. Yeah, that's the thing, Frums, is like, it's easy sometimes to, like, hear it from other people, or, like, try and look at it from, like, an analytical, quote-unquote, objective perspective, but, like, at the end of the day, that doesn't necessarily stop your brain from being very loud at you about, well, what if it's wrong, though? Well, what if the world explodes right now, though? You know? I don't mean that as, like, a point to bring up to, like, garner sympathy or, like, demand answers from people or anything like that, because that would be fucking weird to do to any sort of audience of people that I only tangentially know, rather than, like, a group of close friends or, like, a medical professional or anything like that, But, like, it's... I don't know, I think sometimes it helps to bring stuff like that up just for the sake of being like, If that's, like, a thing you're going through, or, like, a thing you've ever experienced, you're not alone. I think that helps to hear sometimes. Sure wish I could figure out how to solve this fucking puzzle, though. Oh, man. This is kicking my ass a little. I reckon this would have to be like that. Bring it in like that. Yeah. 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 And we would need like this because we can't have it going to this bed. Depression, anxiety, and RSD are a hell of a combination. Yep. Ain't that just the way? Hey, you Duke. Hope you're doing well. I'm stuck on a puzzle. Which tends to be the way puzzle games go for a while, but... You know, just like real life, we manage. Sometimes you get stuck. Sometimes you have an aha moment. Sometimes you need help, and sometimes you just go, I'll come back to this later. Then you come back to it later. Real life has a disappointing lack of sliding block puzzles, though. Generally, at least. You hope I win? Well, I had a nice bowl of spaghetti for dinner. And tomorrow I'm getting ribs. So I reckon I've won by some standard. Click on this all I want, but it won't work. Hope the Marios were fun. They were. Socks beat the final boss. And I finally got to share the joy of Corona Mountain with Socks and Sophie both, because neither of them had done it before. And when I say joy, I say it in like scare quotes, because Corona Mountain is kind of a bad level. The final boss fight also isn't super great, but it's, you know, that's Mario Sunshine. It's got a lot of neat ideas. It's got a very strong start. I can give it props for, you know, trying to do some stuff that was different, trying to be a little experimental. I think Flood is a really neat mechanic that they, like, built around in a lot of interesting ways. The back portion of that game, in general, not so great. For a lot of reasons. Just got back. Which game? Mario Sunshine. I think it's a cool game. I have a lot of love and respect for it. I think some of the jank is the fun kind of jank. And I think some of the design is just dog shit. And it is very funny to me how a lot of the time, when I do see or hear someone talking about how Sunshine is basically their favorite 3D Mario game, a lot of the time it also turns out they never actually beat the game, and it's like, ah, I see why you hold it in such high regard, then. Which, you know, makes sense if you've only experienced the really, really good parts of a game. Slash, if you went through the aggravating parts when you were a kid and had, like, much more patience for dumb game bullshit, or had much more time to play video games and stuff like that. Like, yeah, that makes sense. There are lots of games that I felt that way about. Thousand Year Door was one of them. Thousand Year Door is a game that is really cool and holds up in a lot of ways. And then in a lot of other ways, it's paced weird and very slow and has a lot of mandatory backtracking. And also, like, optional backtracking if you want to do all the side stuff. And it's, kinda don't like that part of it. Hottest video game take is that Thousand Year Door is the weakest of the first 3 Paper Mario levels. Huh. I don't agree with that personally, but I think I can see where you're coming from with that. The good stuff about Thousand Year Door, in my opinion, means that trudging through some of the not-so-great stuff in it is worth it, but, you know, that doesn't change the fact that the not-so-great stuff in it is not so great. God, though, it is funny, how, like, for, like, a subset of people years ago, and probably also a subset of people to this day, but I don't see it as much, games being described as like, oh, this is a 50-hour-long epic, this is a 100-hour-long adventure, this is a 200-hour-long quest, used to be, like, a positive selling point, and nowadays, when I hear stuff like that, I mostly just think, like, oh god, that sounds miserable. Oh god, that sounds like it's not gonna respect any of my time at all. Oh god, why would I want that? Here's your 200-hour-long, massive, sprawling open-world quest, and it's 200 hours long, because you've gotta backtrack through all of it 7 times, and also there's random encounters every couple of minutes, and it's like... Ah. I see, perhaps, why that would make it 200 hours long. I would rather put 200 hours into a video game because I want to keep playing it, rather than I put 200 hours into a video game because the game is bogged down with shit and then I feel like I've got to deal with the sunk cost fallacy of a fucking JRPG or whatever. Some of my favorite games are decidedly not that long. I think Outer Wilds. Forgive me for fucking praising Outer Wilds once again, but I will take any opportunity I get. I think Outer Wilds is one of the most, like, dense, interesting, and complete, like, experiences maybe ever made in the space of video games, and, like, it was, like, what? 20 hours for me? More or less? Maybe less than that? I think I'm getting my estimate wrong, and that's because I played it very slowly. That's because I played it very slowly, and very thoroughly, and discovered everything in that game. And it was worth it. And it was an incredible self-contained experience, and it didn't need to be 200 hours long, and I'm glad it wasn't. I feel like mostly nowadays the only game that it's shifted a lot from, oh, this is a 200-hour-long epic quest experience, has shifted into, this is our new live service forever game that you're going to want to keep logging into every day for new content updates, and it's like... It just feels like kind of the same cruft, but they figured out how to monetize that better. Well, better in the sense that they make more money off of it. That's kind of what makes me sad about Destiny 2. Destiny 2 is a game that has a lot of fun gunplay, and has some cool, like, mechanical designs about, like, your different powers that you have, and it's got gorgeous visual design, it's got cool world spaces, it's got a really interesting, like, backstory and, like, bits of lore, and I'm, like, fascinated with its world, and, I feel like all of that is held back by the fact that they're also trying to make it, as they keep referring to it themselves in official, like, presentations and, like, interviews and stuff, they're trying to make it a forever game that you want to play forever. And I feel like them, like, constantly building it around, like, all these weird grindy mechanics and, like, time-gated seasonal stuff that goes away after a year or whatever, and, like, you have to pay extra to get the season pass, and also you have to pay extra to get a new expansion, which does not include the season pass, and you have to get the season pass if you want to basically experience any of the new content that ever matters or is important in any sort of way. And oh, well, now in the new expansion, if you want to experience, like, any of the other content we're adding, you have to buy the special edition that adds, like, the dungeons, and you also have to buy the anniversary edition that adds a different dungeon, and it's just like... I could do that? Or I could not do any of that, and I could spend that money on a video game that's 15 hours long at most, which is a complete self-contained experience that I have a great time with, and then I can take the rest of that $100 that I didn't spend on Destiny 2 and I can spend it on, I don't know, groceries, or a nice potted plant, or a toy for my cat. I don't know, I have, like, no fucking desire to play with any sort of, like, fear of missing out bullshit. I feel like one of the games that does pretty okay about that is Warframe, because A, they, like, have that sort, like, the sort of, like, oh, like, constant, like, updates to add more content to the game thing, but, like, they realize, like, that model, like, works for, like, a free-to-play game. And so it is a free-to-play game, instead of them being like, okay, well, it's a free-to-play game, but if you want any of the content that matters, you have to keep buying all of our expansion packs or whatever. And also, like, every now and then, they'll be like, okay, we're doing, like, a big event that's only running for, like, a couple of weeks or something. And then if you miss it, they're like, okay, don't worry about it. Either the rewards are getting cycled in, and you can earn them in literally any other way by playing the game, or we'll bring it back in a couple of months. And so, like, I don't know, I can at least respect what the Warframe devs are doing in that regard, and, like, I don't play it all that much anymore, because it is, like, a huge, sprawling game that does require, like, a lot of time investment to, like, grind stuff out, and upgrade things, and like, find the cool weapons that you want to use, and engage with all the various different quests, and build all the various different things you need to do those quests, but, like, it's done in kind of a reasonable enough way where it's like, okay, there's not really any sort of pressure to necessarily do this in any sort of immediate time frame, because this is definitely coming back later. I think the game is good, and in its current state is structured in a way that, like, doesn't really encourage FOMO bullshit. And I really appreciate that. Like, Warframe is a game that I spent, how many hours in? I'm gonna look this up on Steam right now. I've spent, according to Steam, just a little over 700 hours in Warframe, and I would not really say that that was time that I spent because I felt like I had to keep playing in order to, like, you know, like, grind shit or, like, be able to get to the quote-unquote good parts of it. Like, I kept playing for that long because I enjoyed the gameplay loop and wanted to keep experiencing it. I'm just kind of talking at this point and not really knowing what to do in this puzzle. Maybe I'll just come back to this tomorrow. Don't know how many hours you spent in the last decade in Space Station 13 and that game does not have a progression system. Yeah, I think that's another sort of interesting example of that, is like, that's a game that it basically lives and dies off of, like, its communities, and, like, it's just core mechanics, and so, like, the fact that it is something that people want to keep playing forever and ever, like, a lot of the time, is interesting. Good that you know when to stop playing a game. It's, I don't know, it's something that always confuses me. I see a lot of people being like, oh, I've put, like, hundreds or thousands of hours into this game, and I'm at a point where I just don't know what to do anymore, I can't think of, like, any other stuff to engage with, there's no end game that's satisfying to me, what do I do? And it's just, I never understand that question, because the answer is obvious to me. The answer is just you turn the game off and you go do something else. Like, if you get to a point in a game when you're thinking, oh, I'm, like, I don't know what to do anymore, I'm not enjoying this, I need something to do in this game, it's like, what? Why don't you just turn it off then? Why don't you do something else? The point of games is to have you know, a fun time or some sort of time with it where you get something out of it. You can just leave. And, you know, that's not to speak of, like, issues relating to, like, addiction and stuff like that. That's obviously a thing that's easier said than done. I know that full well. Through the experiences of friends and personal experiences. And so, like, far be it from me to say, oh, you have a problem related to addiction, why don't you just simply not have it? Because that's not how it works. I'm very keenly aware of that, but... like, there are a lot of cases where people are just like, well... you know, I had fun with this game once, and that means I have to keep having fun with it forever, and it's like... I don't know, I think if you do anything long enough, it doesn't feel the same, and that's just normal. It doesn't somehow, like, lessen or eliminate the good times you had with it. Like, I never want to play Overwatch again. I never want anything to do with that fucking video game, but... I don't know, it doesn't change the fact that for, like, a while I had fun with it. Can't believe games are sending emails now to try to get people to keep playing. Yeah, that shit makes my fucking skin crawl. I, like, saw, that shit being talked about for Far Cry 6, and it was like, just... wow, man. I don't want to fucking play that ever now. Yeah, for folks what are unawares, Far Cry 6, the current Far Cry video game, has a feature, because I guess they needed to do something to the video game to try and make it stand out from literally any other game that Ubisoft has released in the past 5-10 years, I guess, aside from getting Giancarlo Esposito as an actor in it. And that was, specifically, they set the game up to send you emails from the perspective of the main villain, where he just goes, like, well, I can't believe how bad you are. You've only been playing for this long. You need to come back and fight me. I can't believe you've only made this much progress through the game. That's so small and pitiful. Just, like, straight up having the game send you emails to antagonize you over your progress or lack of progress, and it's like... why? Why? Bro, it's a fucking single-player video game. It's not like a fucking, like, competitive leaderboard for shit. This isn't like fucking getting an email like, alert, your Far Cry base has been invaded by Dark Souls invaders and they've stolen your strongest warrior or whatever. It's just like, bro, I can't believe you've only captured one of my fucking bases. LOL. It's just fucking ghoulish. Fucking ghoulish. I think the only way you could take something like that and make it interesting is basically by making it a completely different mechanic, which is like, I don't know, have some sort of system where, like, and, like, the thing I am thinking of is basically just a system in Metal Gear Solid 5, which is, like, you can set up, like, forward operating bases and then, like, have them manned by, your different, like, warriors that... warriors? Soldiers. Your different soldiers that you've, like, trained up throughout the game and have them, like, protect it. And then, like, there's a chance of, like, NPC or other player invasions where they could, like, go in and, like, steal your dudes or, like, steal your equipment or something like that when you're not playing. And then, like... At least then, it's like, you know, A, that's a risk-reward thing where you can choose to engage with it and choose to set that up for a benefit that is also putting you at some sort of risk. Because that's a thing you want to engage with, and then, like, you could have some sort of email thing being like, alert, while you were away, like, this happens to your base, you can, if you want, you can boot up the game and go into it and do that. And two, I don't know, don't have the email be fucking condescending, like, I can't believe the nerve of you, that you're never going to win against my evil test. Log in to play free now, farcry.net, ha 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 ha. Like, fuck that, come on. I thought we left the, like, shitty, edgy, like, branding and advertising for games like that back in 2003. Would that I could be right. Ah, that reveals that. Oh wait, hang on. What did I just do? I feel like I just had an aha moment for a second. I clicked on something and had a moment of like, oh shit, this might be a solution, and then I completely forgot what it was that I did. Fuck. It was related to this. I slid something out. What was it? Ah, my nose itches. How long until characters from video games DM you from their Twitter account saying they're having a really hard mental health time and would really feel better if you bought the new expansion and played with them more? Even I think that's a little on the nose. I don't think that's ever gonna happen. Right? Right? There we fucking go. That's one. Fucking finally. Okay, we have finally made progress. Now what? No, not that. Not quite that yet. Let's see, let's see. There we go. Nope, not there. That's something. That's great. I love something. There we go. Holy fuck, I might actually beat this puzzle tonight. I might actually beat this puzzle tonight. Holy crap. Wouldn't that just be the day? Out you go. Out you go. There we go. Now I just have to connect these pieces. This can't be like that. This can't be... This would have to be like that, presumably. Right, so we can't have one going up there. This needs to be connected. There. Can't have that. Can't have that. Okay, we can work with this. We can work with this. I did it! Alright. Ah, now all these blocks are connected. We need to move all of these at once. This. It's 1 a.m. and you have class in the morning. I'm gonna time you out for 60,000 seconds so that you can't talk and chat, so that you're more encouraged to... Oh, I didn't time out anyone. Hang on. There we go. Now I did it, so now you can go to bed instead of worrying about watching the stream. And hey, Koo, thanks for the raid! Hope you had yourself a wonderful stream today. I just timed someone out because they said they were being naughty instead of going to bed because they have class tomorrow and it's 1 in the morning. I hope you had yourself a wonderful stream. We're just playing a bit of a puzzle game tonight. More of a low-key affair. Having fun with it.
Das Blintin Schmoken.
That's very funny when the TTS says it. Thank you, Twunk32, for that 11-month resub, and thank you, Witch Battery, for the 12 months. I appreciate it. I spent
A whole year.
a good lot of this stream just being completely fucking stuck on one puzzle, and so I was just, you know, talking about life and being introspective and philosophical and all that junk. That was fun. And then I figured out how to solve the fucking puzzle, and now my brain is the size of Texas, so I can really do anything. They legally let me do anything. Thank you, RobinChan33, for the 2-month resub.
Das Blintin Schmoken.
Carving blunts into pumpkins. Fuck yeah. You'll love to see it. Goes out this way. You were playing that one pumpkin carving game, right? That looks neat. Is there a pumpkin? Yes, there is. That seems like a fun little time. We got a down one. Yes. There we go. Gotta get rid of this first. But I can't? Why? There we go. Ah! Hidden! You sneaky son of a bitch. Thank you, Kyra Terror, for the tip.
Wait, hang on, I want to hear it again. Ahem hem. Das Blintin Schmoken.
Das Bluntin Schmoken. People in chat carved pumpkins and you saw them in your area? Oh, that's wonderful. Hell yeah. Here we got the levers. Let's see, what direction can I pull all of these in? This way. Clean. Clean. You'll love to see it.
Okay, I wanna try this one. Oh, du bringst mir einen Blunt.
Oh? Du bringst mir einen Blunt? Oh, yippee! Feeling fully like the little German boy getting a lollipop for Christmas, but it's just a blunt instead, I guess. Pardon me. The old lungs are a little on the fritz today. No, I don't want that. Bring that back out. Okay, and then it's just down either way. How would I clear that? Do I have to? So I can't rightly go down with it. Molly coughed like a little itty bitch smoking the smallest roach. Listen, I got chronic lung issues. I got asthma, I got breathing problems. You gotta cut me a little slack, even if you're right. No, not that kind of chronic. Hey, Isometric SCH! Thank you, Len, for the raid. Hope you had yourself a wonderful stream today. We're probably close to wrapping up ourselves. But, you know, enjoying a bit of a puzzle game at night. Before I head off to Sleepland. How the hell was this puzzle first arranged at the start? It, like, seems completely different now.
17.
And thank you, Len, for the 17-month resub. I really appreciate it. I got a sniffle now. Right, okay, it was like this. It was like this specifically, which means, I don't know. Okay, so we can rotate like this, but that doesn't seem to do us too much good other than, I guess, where the lever is facing. You had 5 irons and a hitman and only used 5 irons to knock people out? Fuck yeah, boss. You'll love to hear it. That's that good shit. No, not like that, I guess.
Squares.
Thank you, Pingu of Not Alive, for the 12-month resub. I appreciate that. Oh man, this is probably gonna be another puzzle what fucking stumps me for a while. And I can slide this up and down so I can't quite... What is the goal of this game? To disassemble every little puzzle you're given. You have to take every block that is not like a black block like this, and you have to remove it from the puzzle. So we've got... this is a new mechanic that was introduced recently, these colored squares. When you like try and slide one out, you click on the arrow to slide a block out, and it slides in that direction. When you try and slide one of these colored ones out, it tries to get rid of every single block of that color. So you have to arrange it in such a way that like all of the ones of that color can slide out. Like moving this doesn't change. Direction it slides in or anything like that. Oh, maybe I should try and focus on their yellow one. There we go. That'll do ya. There we go. Okay, so we got a cross-shaped one here. If we gotta do this, but then if we do this, now it's stuck on that bit. There we go. Now it's clear. So we want to get rid of these green ones first. Which would be like this. Out you go. And then we can't do yellows because the blue is in the way. This one has to be moved. There we go. And then, there we go. I'm curious, have any of y'all checked out the early access for Darkest Dungeon 2? I know that came out today. I don't really play games when they're in early access. I like to wait until they're done. But I watched some people play a bit of that one today. And it seems cool. I like that it's like they made a lot of interesting changes while keeping like the bones of the formula there. And I like that it seems to have more of like a rogue-like-ish sort of like run-based, you go down like different paths sort of thing feel, instead of being like a dungeon crawler. It's an interesting sort of translation of the mechanics to that. Heard they added animations or something? I don't know what you mean by animations, but talking about the fighting animations being cool. Oh, yeah, because it's 3D models now. And so instead of it just being like, oh, when you do an attack, it cuts to like a frame of your character doing the swing and then the monster's reacting. It's like, it cuts to that frame of, you know, your character doing the attack, and then there's like a wind down animation. So like for the Man-at-Arms, which is one of my favorites in that game, huge fucking old dude with a mace and a shield who's all about like inspiring your teammates and keeping them safe and swinging a big fucking mace around. When you use your basic attack, which is just crush, you know, it cuts to like the frame of him like with the mace hewn down on the ground with like impact lines, and like the people are hurt. And then the wind down animation from that is he fucking drags his mace along the floor and like scrapes it all the way back to him and then hoists it back up. And it is dope as fuck. It's great. It's awesome. The game translates to 3D in like a really interesting way, I feel. There we go. They do this thing, and I don't know if that's just part of the early access model for it right now, or if it's going to be how the base game is, like when it's finally properly launched, so to speak, where you have to like level up like a non-specific like file meter of like experience that you've earned from doing battles and stuff to like unlock different classes. And I'm not really sure how I feel about that necessarily. But I mean, I think there was at least something sort of similar in Darkest Dungeons, the original one, where it was like, you know, you only had access to later classes at later points in the game. I think? I gotta play more of Darkest Dungeon at some point. That game's neat. What you understand, it's exclusive to Epic Game Store, and they're apparently adding NFT bullshit to the platform. It is an Epic Game Store exclusive for 1 year, and then it is getting released to other platforms. The NFT thing is just as a response to Valve being like, oh, well, we don't want like NFT games on our platform, was Epic going, oh, well, we're gonna, you can bring your stuff here to us, haha, we want your money, and like, nothing specific has come of that, but like, it still got me like, come on. Come on. Come on. This is gonna make a heart. Epic tends to chokehold indies. I feel like they mostly do it to, like, people that already have, like, a pretty established, like, platform or following, more so than just, like, any indie, like... like, you know, like, the Darkest Dungeon people's got that, like, that exclusivity deal for a while, but, they've already got like a pretty established platform on Steam, so like it's not like they're like, oh, we're helping out like a humble indie dev here that like is looking for like a platform or whatever. It's like they already had that though. But they do give you a good cut though, so like I can definitely see why people do it. Yeah, and also, you know, there's not really, like, a good guy or a bad guy here in terms of, like, these corporations. They are still just corporations at the end of the day. They are still just a business in the business of making money. How the fuck I make this go up? I try to buy stuff just on itch if I can help it so that more of the money goes to the devs. Ah, rotate it. There we go. That explains it. That explains it right good, it does. Except... how the hell I do make it go up? How the hell I do that? Oh, no, I'm a fool. I'm completely a fool. This way. No problems here. We got a heart. And a heart. Let's connect a lot of lines. Let's see. Okay, that reveals more. That's fun. Are there any that we can just immediately shoot out right at the start? Looks like no. Let's extend a couple. There go the greens. Blue and yellow still pretty firmly stuck in. So let's clear out a couple of these blocks. Make more room. There we go. There we go. There we... no, that one bounces out. Yellow still can't go. And blue go. No. There we go. Away with you. Away with you. Away with you. And one last cube. This one's got a lot of hearts. Ah, I see. I see. Well, that's charming. There goes our blues. Yellows are still pretty firmly in place here because of the green, so once we get one that's going up that way... no, and our green will go up that way. Let's try and get these pinks out of the picture then. Get this out of the way, get these out of the way. This goes... damn, this really goes. Feel free to screenshot. We did it! That's the end of the game! I didn't even realize that was the final level. I just took a screenshot as a joke. Alright. And that's NABOKI. I went from worrying, I'm not going to be able to finish this tonight because I'm stuck on one puzzle, to having a genius brain moment and clearing the whole thing in one sitting. And it's only 1:24 in the morning. That's not too bad. Thank y'all for tuning in. Bit of a quieter stream from what we normally do, but I like doing streams like this every now and then. So I hope you enjoyed it too. I'm gonna go to bed after this. And then tomorrow, I'm gonna have a good workout. And if the sun's out, I'm gonna go for a walk. And I'm gonna have a nice shower. And I'm gonna doll myself up all pretty. And then I'm going to eat ribs like a fucking caveman. And then I'm gonna play some Moonglow Bay, and I'll stream Moonglow Bay tomorrow. And we'll enjoy a nice fishing game. That sounds like a nice Wednesday to me. Just got here, so excited to watch today's stream. Twilight, the stream's over. Twilight, the stream's over. Twilight, we're ending the stream. Twilight, it's... Can I play Fruit Ninja? Can I play Fruit Ninja? Like the iPhone game Fruit Ninja? The one with the fruits and the ninjas? Fruit Ninja? Do you... Hang on a sec, I guess. Hang on. It's, You'll give me just a sec. Let's play Fruit Ninja.
Friday Night Funkin' Thieves!